Okay, hello. This is the first episode of Talk to Eitan, and the first person with the honor of speaking to Ray Garcia. Hello, Ray. How are you doing?
Great, thank you. I'm in
doing?
Texas, El Paso, Texas, right next door to Mexico.
Excellent, great. How's it going in Texas? How long have you been there for?
I live here all of my life. We're in the far west past the Panhandle, right next, about 30 miles from New Mexico. And 5 minutes from the south of the border is Chihuahua, Mexico.
Oh, nice.
So this is mostly Hispanic community. El Paso is called the Sun City because it's a little bit hot, just like Phoenix, year round.
Oh, I see. So what made you, were you brought up in Mexico and you went to Texas, or were you brought up in Texas and then you went back and forth? What's the story behind that? How did you end up where you are?
I'm a first generation. My infancy was in next door town, Juarez, Mexico. I was there the first 7 years of my life.
Oh, I see. Okay. And you said that I remember we spoke before, you said you're doing IT, is that right? You working at IT?
Yeah. Background IT. Because Zoom setup, the applications, I don't have no idea how all those things work. I don't even know how to use Word. I just do the background, the wires, the equipment, the routers, the switches. You know, what people don't see, that's where I'm at. Where you don't see the equipment in the ground that's carrying the signals.
So you're like a technician, almost like an IT technician. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Did you study for that? Did you have to study for that?
Well, it's a funny story because I never liked school. I didn't finish school. I dropped out of school at 16.
Okay.
But it's funny because since I was little, I like to read. I mean, I read every day. There's my library right there.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's I like it. Nice.
All of those are technical books. So the fact that I didn't like school, but I like to read. In the 80s, when the technology started booming with VCRs, microwaves, CD players, I got manuals. I started manuals, and I went to technical school for about 18 months on electronics. And from there, with that basics, that foundation, because before there were no personal computers, there were word processors. There was no Windows. None of this stuff existed in the 80s.
Yes.
So from there, you get the foundation. And then as the industry keeps coming up, I always been inquisitive. So I would read about it, and that led me to where I'm at.
So you've been doing this since you're 16?
No, and it's not the money. Because prior to this, I had a great paying job, physical job. But if you don't enjoy what you're doing, the money doesn't make a difference. So I went to school around 27, but here in this town, all border towns have an issue with jobs and pay. So, but I believe in the word luck. It's a saying where it says, luck is when opportunity meets preparedness. So I was prepared with all my reading. And when the opportunity came in, I raised my hand. Hey, I can do that. Hey, I know about that. And in the 90s, before Windows, there was Novell. And there were the paper engineers. Because nowadays, believe it or not, Google, Microsoft, VMware, Oracle, they will take a certified person versus a person with a degree.
Yes, that makes sense.
You see, I heard examples. If you go anywhere in the world where you go with your degree from Ivy League colleges, universities, they're going to think about it, and then they see if you have a CCIE, a Cisco expert, Amazon expert, cloud expert. They're going to take that expert versus the person with a degree. You see, so they say, hey, I didn't have to spend $40,000 on a paper. I just went and got certified for $300, and I got a job.
So you actually have a degree in, like, what is it, IT technical? You don't have a degree, you just went.
No degree, just certifications.
Oh, certifications, yeah.
Thanks to those books.
I see.
Yeah, it's like everything else. Like in life, you gotta have a self-discipline, motivation. Because when motivation ends or swindles down, the self-discipline kicks in.
Yeah.
And as I was younger, I didn't have neither. But I started when I was younger, about 15. I will have to walk a mile to school, and then in the summer, I didn't have to walk that mile anymore. And I said, I'm gonna get out of shape. So I better use this summer to continue walking or riding the bicycle so I won't get out of shape and be tired in the morning by walking a mile. And I was younger. So I started doing yoga. I didn't know it was even yoga. I just started stretching in the mornings. I remember when I was little, there was this TV celebrity. His name was Jack LaLanne. He was a guru in athletics till he was about mid-80s, you know. So I would do push-ups, sit-ups, air squats, pull-ups, stretches, and unknowingly, that's what developed my self-discipline. Because over the years, that little workout, 10-minute workout in the morning, built up my strength and my self-discipline to where that's the first thing I automatically do in the morning as soon as I wake up.
So tell me something. Your fitness journey began from you doing that mile walk. Is that what you're saying? Is that what planted the seed? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it wasn't planned. So.
And how old are you when this happened?
I was about 9th grade, so I was 15.
Oh, okay, good. So
15, and I'm gonna be 58.
It's a long time, yeah.
So that's like 35 years, more or less. You know, about 40, really. Yeah, something around there.
And how about now? So looking back now, what kind of training are you doing now? How are you keeping in shape now? What kind of exercises are you doing? Like, what?
Well, I never stopped being mobile and active. I never play sports. I'm not a team person. I'm not a very social person. I'm unsocial.
Okay.
Sort of a loner. I like to do things by myself, or just like a friend or two, or a family member.
Very independent. You're very independent. Very independent. You like to be independent. Okay.
Yeah. Swimming. I enjoy swimming, especially like in the last 10 years when they made those underwater MP3 players. That improved, because before then it was very boring. You know, I would just go and swim laps.
Now listen, you have the weather as well. You can go swimming where you are, right? The pool.
Yeah.
Or
even in the winter, except for now because of the lockdown, I will go in the winter indoor pool swimming. So it's always just a little bit. At least, like I said, every morning, in case I don't get to work out, I did my 20-minute stretching and push-ups in the morning for 15, 20 minutes without fail, unless I'm sick, which is rarely.
So you've been doing this since you're 15, all this? Has it been consistent? Wow. Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah. Okay. Baby steps.
Wow, okay.
But the consistency ingrains it into a lifetime habit.
It does become it becomes part of your DNA, so to speak.
Yeah. It's normal. I go to the gym, I work out, and people say, "Hey man, you're taking TRT." No, all this is natural, man. Natural.
Yeah, it's You're an inspiration to men of your age for sure. No question about it. You should definitely a good example.
Because at work there's a lot of programmers, and they're on their desk all day, sitting, typing, drinking a Coke, and they're 20 years younger than me, 25, and most of them are truckers, all sitting down. Is whatever you do for most part of the day that's going to affect your body. And they ask me, hey man, what can I do to improve my health? And I mentioned it. I say, you got to make a decision first, because if you're just wandering and trying and picking here and there without making that decision yet, you're going to fail.
This is definitely true.
Baby steps. Oh, I don't have time. They go, get up 5 minutes earlier. Do push-ups for 5 minutes every day.
Definitely true. If only everyone had your mentality, then we wouldn't have all these problems we have in the world. All these health issues we have. Yeah.
As young as they are, they come up with excuses. They go, hey, and then pretty soon, after a month, 5 minutes is gonna turn into 10 minutes, and you can do air squats, pull up, something. As long as you do something, but it's gotta be consistent. And then the time that you don't want to do it, that's the time where you force yourself to do it.
That's the key. Yeah. When you're tired and you're exhausted, and you still have to push yourself a little bit, do something.
Yeah. That's very. You never stop learning. I just recently read. I like a lot of memes, and I save them and I forward them to my family. There's one that says. And I put it there on the group. I let my actions dictate my feelings. Because if I feel tired and sleepy, I'm just going to stay here a little longer. And if I say, no, I'm going to get up and do it, 5 minutes later, I'm already energized and ready to go. So that action changed my feelings. You see? So I know that I'm gonna feel energized and ready to go, and
you're associating knowing that when you do the exercise you're going to feel great. That's the association. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that when in my lunch hour I said, I'm gonna go take a break and take it easy. Nah, I'd rather go swimming for 20 minutes, and when I get out of the swimming, I feel energized. Like a second wind.
Yeah,
because my job is easy. It's light duty, but it's taxing on the always thinking mentally. You work with your brain, not with your hands, and it was like a refresher during the day, a mental boost.
Tell me, what do you do outside of your work time, and when you're not training, when you're not working? Do you have any side hobbies? Anything else that you like to do? You mentioned reading. Do you do anything else apart from reading?
Yeah, reading is a daily habit.
Yep.
And I got 4 grandkids.
Oh yes, that's right. That's a hobby. Yeah.
They're between 9 and 12, and if it wasn't for this COVID, because that's what I've been doing for the last 12 years, spending time with them, raising them. And now with COVID, it's a little bit harder, but. I post a lot of videos, bicycle riding, activities, shooting the basketball, skating. So it's all because in my youth, I wasted a lot of years until I had I got 3 kids, and I raised 2 of them. And as soon as I raised those 2 for 10 years, that's when my life made a 180 turnaround from being a typical Mexican macho man, partying and drinking and friends, to a family man, cold turkey, from one day to the other. I put my kids as my priority, and that's what changed my life, basically, in a different direction for the better. Yeah,
because I think you mentioned before that you want to actually set an example to the younger kids or teenagers growing up. Well, not just your grandkids. I think you mentioned that to me before. How that's another thing about the group that you like is you want to help and show people.
Well, yeah,
this is what
but it wasn't planned. That's the way that it just turned out. You see, the circumstances where I didn't turn my back. I manned up and faced the challenge, and over time, I realized I had become a better person. Because in this culture, I guess it depends on the part of the world where you live and your community. There's not very many that would do that. There's not a lot. There's very few.
So you're not surrounded by ambitious kind of people, would you say, like in your community? Like it's rare, hardworking, ambitious people, or is it kind of mixed?
Well, it's like I said, it's like every town has a good side of town and a lower end.
Yeah.
Where in those neighborhoods there's a lot of liquor stores, and in the nicer neighborhoods there are more bookstores.
Tequila, yeah.
Yeah.
Tequila.
so you kind of the only way for you to come up is if you're already down. And I was down there for a few years, just wasting my life, wasting my years, wasting my energy, my money, and accomplishing nothing. Just and I realized over the years that it's selfishness. It's just making yourself happy, whether it's alcohol, partying, friends, women, cars, where everything is just thinking about your well-being, your ego.
So there's a switch from kind of hedonistic kind of mentality to a kind of more family orientated.
Actually, as a matter of fact,
real life situation. Okay.
You realize that the true happiness is in actually giving back.
Giving. Yeah, they always say that giving is always
giving back, and
and
I always says to myself, oh man, how come I have it so good, so easy? And people have different beliefs. They call it a blessing. So I believe I'm very blessed because I was blessed to give, to help. And people call it karma. What you do comes back to you. And I noticed, I noticed that, because the more I give, the more I get back.
Very true.
There must be some truth to that.
Very true. So tell me, what would you say is your 2021 like resolutions, or like what do you hope to achieve this year? Is there anything, you have any goals? Do you set yourself goals? Like what would you say?
No, I never believed in that. I seen it. You see, well, in this town, I don't know about different parts. You see the gyms full in the year's resolution with new members, hitting the
That's right.
From January till about March.
Yes.
And then it dwindles down, because those people just made a conscious decision.
A
plan, a New Year's resolution. So I never had that kind of mentality. To me, is daily. As you get older, the days go by faster. So I just focus on that day.
Day by day. You take it day by day.
I'm gonna do this. Today I'm gonna read so many pages, and little by little, okay, I'm ready to go take this test on that book that I read. I don't plan far ahead because I don't know if I'm gonna be alive next month or 2 months, right? So I believe in just making short goals.
I see.
Hey, I gotta fix that in the backyard. Hey, I gotta take care of this, buy this stuff for the next month. So it's very little short-term goals. Very
so you're living in the now, basically, the now and the present.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so finally, what would you say? What is your message to the people in the other members in the Aphro-D group? What would you say from all the messages you've seen and all the conversations? Say what would your message give to those people in the group? You think from what you've read and the things that you experienced using the product as well? Like how would you what kind of message would you give to those people going forward? in, it's sort of improving their life, so to speak?
Well, as I said, I'm only 2 years short. Well, in 2 months, I'll be 58. So I'm 2 years short from 60. I can't believe it, man. I'm already here. I heard that saying, your life is 3 quick 20s. And the first 20 go real slow. The second is halfway, and then the last 20 is fast. And I go, man, but from what I read and what I've seen in other groups, because I have very few friends, one or two.
Yeah, you mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, physically nowadays, the older you get, the more you learn. You never stop learning. And I realized health, because a person might look healthy, but inside they might not be when they get a blood test. So just recently, the last 5 years, I get my blood test at least 3 times a year, and I comparing them, and I go, oh man, thank God I'm not on any medication, So all I take, look, I'm taking my vitamins, my supplements, and I said, I don't know if it's a placebo. If it is, I'm gonna keep taking them because I don't have any ailments, and I'm always reading up on health, gut health, cardiovascular, your heart, and that's my message to most people, family members. Hey, you gotta take care of your body so your body can take care of you when you get older. That's what I tell my kids since they're small. Your body is like a car. You want to put good gas in it, so when you get older, you will still be running. You gotta be mobile. Mobility. My parents, they passed recently. They were in their early 80s, and they never exercised. They never moved, and I could see them. The body wasn't responding.
Were they happy? Were they happy?
Well, yeah, basically, yeah.
That's the one thing that I've noticed is even people that don't train very hard or are overweight, but if they're happy and have a positive outlook in life, sometimes you can live to 100, and you don't know how they're doing it.
Well, they were on medications,
Okay.
So who knows if they were not medicated, maybe they wouldn't be as happy.
Yeah, this is true.
Because those medicines, even though they help you, they also have side effects. So that is my advice, because that's what I did. I tried to learn about the body, about your systems, your bones, your joints, take care of them. And hopefully, if I can continue like this, I'll be, because right now I'm reaping what I did in my 30s and 40s, you see. And so hopefully I can continue in this pattern. And I haven't slowed down, but when I do, at least I know I'm gonna keep swimming, which will be less tear and wear, because right now, it's obvious if you're abusing your body at the gym, sooner or later, the joints start complaining. Yeah. And I'm feeling that I get there, man. I'm getting there, because the only time I feel old is when I wake up in the morning. That's what I gotta get circulating, moving, and lubricating those joints. Yeah.
Well, Rafe, I'm you're definitely an inspiration to people, to your own age group, to all men, and I'm pretty sure that when people see this, they're definitely going to be inspired, because there's plenty of guys who would wish to be in the kind of shape that you're in, but as you've proven just now, you've been training since you're 15, and it does take time to build up that foundation. You can't there's no quick fixes. There's no quick results. It takes time to train, and there's no shortcuts. So that's great to see. Okay.
It pays off.
Sorry?
It pays off.
And it pays off. And it pays off, yeah.
I tell the ladies I'm 48, 50, they believe me. So I always had all my girlfriends have been at least 10 years younger. And that in itself is a boost. It boosts your testosterone, your ego.
And that enough would be enough motivation for anyone to want to be in great shape. Just to know that they can get someone 10 years younger, it's definitely
Yep, exactly. I mean, it's a side benefit, really. It's not a goal to have that as a goal to reach, for that purpose, but it's just a side benefit, it's like icing on the cake. Yeah, because I seen at the gym some older ladies my age in pretty good shape, and they don't want an old guy. They want a young guy that can keep up with them, and young guys probably 10 years younger than them, they probably think they're their age too. They might lie, I don't know. I hardly ever dated any woman my age. I think the oldest one, recently I dated one who was 51, and she was in great shape. Yeah, and that was about the oldest I dated, and it was for that reason, because she was very.
I think for sure you definitely have to gonna give us some tips on how to get women 10 years younger. That could be your. I think people look forward to those kind of messages in the group for sure. But
well, yeah, there was a guy there that posted a very good advice, and I was surprised. You never stop learning, and it's not to look for one of the points is not to look for a great woman. The point is to concentrate on yourself and make yourself a great man, so that women will be attracted to you. They will see that you're a great man, and they will automatically come without you having to go look for them.
Yeah, this is true.
You raise your value, via different means, something like that.
Okay, Ray. Well, thank you very much for giving your time and getting to know you. And hopefully we'll do another interview and we'll talk about these other things. We'll go into more detail about those kind of like, how you improve your self-development, how you get that, and you talk, I think you haven't used that word, but like, how you radiate that energy to kind of get women 10 years younger than you, how, to get to basically feel younger and be stronger, because you can train all day long, but if you don't feel it, psychologically feel it, then it's not going to be all that training, everything will go to waste. So yeah, again, thank you very much, Ray, and yeah, we'll on to the next interview, who knows when, and great, speak to you soon.
All right, Ethan.
Take care. Thank you very much.
Technology is great, man. We're talking across the world. It wasn't dreamed of before.
100%, and you've made a new friend.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too.
Take care.
Take care.